This is the story of a 59-year-old man who struggled with type 2 diabetes for more than 25 years. Let's call him Mr. Apple. Since his diagnosis, Mr. Apple has been undergoing various treatments but had a poor glycemic control. In June 2017, he developed end-stage kidney disease due to poorly controlled diabetes. Luckily, in that same year, he was able to get donor kidneys and had a transplant. You might think everything would be rainbows and sunshine after his kidney transplant, right? Wrong. Even after the transplant, Mr. Apple faced poor control of his diabetes despite being on both injectable insulin and oral anti-diabetes medications. His glucose levels swung widely between 3.66 and 14.60, causing him to experience both hypoglycemic and hyperglycemic crises regularly. The constant struggle was taking its toll and Mr. Apple was getting exhausted. One day, Mr. Apple heard about a potential cure for type 2 diabetes. At this point, he felt he had nothing to lose. He could either get cured and end his battle with glycemic crisis or face the possibility of worsening his condition and even death. Driven by desperation and hope, Mr. Apple decided to take a leap of faith, and what happened next was beyond anyone's expectations. You see, type 2 diabetes starts with insulin resistance, where your body cells refuse to respond to the available insulin. Insulin's primary function is to ensure that glucose, which is used for energy, enters the cells. When cells do not respond to insulin, they lack the energy they need to function properly. When cells are deprived of energy, the pancreas receives a signal to produce more insulin. Over time, this increased demand can exhaust the pancreas, leading to high blood sugar levels and eventually the full-blown symptoms of diabetes. This is why many type 2 diabetes patients end up relying on exogenous insulin and other oral anti-diabetic drugs to manage their condition. But what was this cure Mr. Apple agreed to? Some scientists and doctors in the home of the largest number of patients with diabetes worldwide, I'm talking about China, had an innovative idea, transplanting islet cells to diabetes patients similar to organ transplants. Initially, the treatment was done using donor islet cells. This showed some improvements, but finding donors willing to donate these cells was a significant challenge. After further research, they discovered a way to use a person's own stem cells known as e-islets for the treatment. This method was first tested on diabetic mouse and monkey models, and the cells survived and functioned perfectly under the kidney capsule of the diabetic mouse. So, they decided to try this treatment on Mr. Apple. 1.2 million e-islet cells were delivered through the skin into his liver, and his glucose levels were monitored using a continuous glucose monitoring system. Mr. Apple was followed up for 116 weeks, that is 2 years and 3 months, with doctors checking for tumor formation, one of the feared complications of the treatment. Remarkably, no evidence of tumor formation was seen during this time. Just 2 weeks after the treatment, Mr. Apple's glucose levels were already stabilizing. By the end of the 11th week, he was taking off his insulin treatment and managed his condition using only the oral anti-diabetic medications. By week 46, approximately 10 months after the procedure, his oral diabetes drugs were also removed, leaving only the transplanted e-islet cells to control his blood glucose. Some side effects noticed after the surgery include temporary abdominal distension and loss of appetite within 8 weeks, and weight loss of less than 5% as Mr. Apple went from 80 kg to 76 kg. While Mr. Apple's treatment was successful, increasing the number of people participating in this trial will help perfect the treatment and identify other potential issues that didn't manifest in Mr. Apple's case. Yes, folks, and that is how Mr. Apple was able to cure his diabetes. Now, I'll be answering the most popular questions people have about this treatment. 1. Does this work for type 1 diabetes too? The answer is yes. This treatment can also work for people with type 1 diabetes mellitus. 2. What are the long-term side effects of this treatment? The creators of this cure do not know that for now, but are quite positive that it would be minimal, since autologous stem cells, which means stem cells of the patient, are used for the procedure and not exogenous e-islet cells. Isn't this remarkable? I wonder why the big pharma companies and prominent doctors on YouTube aren't talking about this enough. I'm not too surprised though. If they support this treatment and make it accessible for all, they will definitely lose the revenue that they currently get from selling anti-diabetes medications. Sad, right? But that aside, are you excited about this news? Do you have any questions about the treatment? What are your concerns about this in the future? Drop your comments in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Share this incredible development with your loved ones. Let's spread the word and bring hope to those battling with type 2 diabetes. Bye.